And it's been over 3 weeks since launch. Perfect! I'm now fashionably late to this party. Wait, what do you mean it's already over? Damn it. Well, I have an excuse. Can I have my computer back now?
No, fake!
I'd stop her, but the last time I tried, she bit me, so... Anyway, I've finally gotten some time with Battle for Azeroth. I just hit level 120, which means I'm done with the leveling process, but I'm definitely not done with the expansion yet, as I've barely scratched endgame. Sadly, I've been all over the place the past few weeks with different projects, but I've done about all I think I'm going to be able to do other than things like harder difficulty dungeons, raids, expeditions, so yeah, I've gotten as far as I'm gonna get. Starting off, I want to say that this may be the first time I've looked at a new World of Warcraft expansion and said, I don't know if I really want to play this new expansion. Not for any particular reason, I stayed away from all news about Battle for Azeroth on purpose. I don't like to know too much going in. I'd rather learn it while playing. Doing research might start to make this channel a bit too legitimate, and we can't have that. Anyway, I had no real reason not to want to play BFA, yet when launch time came, I didn't feel the desire that I've had with every other expansion. Maybe I'm just growing tired of WoW? I don't know. But luckily, this feeling hasn't lingered, as overall my first impression of BFA has been pretty positive despite my initial hesitation. Now, Wibbles decided to join me on this adventure, which may be skewing my opinion of the game a bit. MMOs are always better with friends. I've soloed a bit of BFA, and it hasn't been too bad, though doing quest after quest by yourself can get a bit tedious. But throw in a questing buddy, and I find myself having fun. Again, I don't know if this is skewing anything or not. All I can say is, I'm enjoying the experience much more than I did with Legion. I can't put my finger on why exactly, other than I don't feel it's as frantic? That's the best way I can put it. The questing experience in BFA is possibly some of the best I've seen in all of Warcraft. It's extremely streamlined, working you around the areas and maps at a nice pace, with some engaging stories as well, if you bothered to read them. My first zone to complete was Drustvar, which is horror/undead themed, and I love it. I found myself reading a lot of the quest text, at least until I realized I was never going to get a video done if I continued to do that, so I had to stop. But the ones I did read were pretty enjoyable, with homages galore. This would be better if he was in a bear suit. I also got to attend a wedding!
To celebrate the joining of Lucille and Alexander.
Pulse. Pounding. Matrimony. I give him a month. Whoa, never mind. He's dead. That was fast. I wonder if they have an open bar. The second area I did was Tierregard Sound, which I did not find as interesting. Although that may be because this is where I did most of my soloing. Seriously, things are just more fun with friends. The questing wasn't bad or anything. I just wasn't as interested in the setting and thus didn't find the quest as entertaining. Drustvar was just so fun and creepy and death-filled. I have issues. I still have one more area to go though. Maybe I'll be more into it? Hopefully. Overall though, this is just more Warcraft. Do quest, gain levels, nothing new or terribly exciting here. But as I said, it's probably the best questing I've ever seen in Warcraft. So that's good, I guess. While running around Tierregard, I decided to spice things up a bit by activating War Mode. War Mode basically enables your character for open world PvP, increases your XP gain, and gives you a few new abilities. It puts the war back into Warcraft. About time too. It's been getting a bit chummy around here. Of course, this is all dependent on if you enable the option. I wasn't too sure if this would really change too much, but I did like the idea of poning some horde noobs like mad, yo. Note, I'm a priest. Death was inevitable. And I did die. A lot. This brought back some really nice memories of my time on PvP servers, and some not so nice memories. Namely getting ganked while in the middle of a quest. However, I found it added some tension and excitement to the leveling process that might have otherwise been a bit boring. Activating War Mode also granted me some new talents, which you can only use when War Mode is active. And they are pretty damn useful. Like seriously, why can't these be actual talents? Or attached to Azerite armor? They're actually helpful! But more on that in a second. While I'd never wish forced PvP on anyone, I do kinda wish that War Mode was mandatory in certain areas, so that I could get some damn help. A solo PvP priest was a dumb idea. Stupid Hive, stupid, stupid, stupid! There were some skill changes for each class it seems. Example, my priest got one of his buffs back. Yay! I missed you, buff. But you won't be gaining any new skills while leveling up. so I'm not entirely sure why they even added more levels other than out of pure obligation. But what BFA did introduce is a new form of progression in Azerite armor. Early on in the expansion, you'll be given a necklace called the Heart of Azeroth, which you level up by obtaining Azerite shards. This is dropped from bosses, quests, etc. It's pretty easy to get, at least while questing. Leveling up the heart will unlock abilities on your 3 pieces of Azerite armor: your helm, shoulders, and chest piece. I can't say they're terribly useful abilities though, at least at this point in my journey, but they certainly are there. This is essentially replacing the artifact weapons from Legion, and so far the general consensus seems to be that most people don't like it. I'm ambivalent since I really haven't gotten far enough into endgame to form a solid opinion. That said, I oddly miss my artifact weapon. Damn it, I put a lot of time into that piece of shit! One of the main ways to gain Azerite is through island expeditions. These are another way Blizzard is trying to bring the war back. They are essentially 3v3 scenarios where you'll group up with 2 other players and take on 3 other players from the opposing faction in a race to collect as much Azerite as possible. You can do this against enemy AI, so it's like PvP, except not really, or against actual players, if that's your thing. Whatever floats your boat. I found these to be rather enjoyable and a nice change of pace from doing dungeons and questing. And that's coming from a person who is admittedly not really into PvP. That said, I really only did this against enemy AI. I didn't have a high enough item level for actual PvP, but I imagine they'd just be more difficult. And that's really all I've done. Mostly lots of questing. Lots and lots of questing. I feel like I haven't had enough time in the expansion, as I haven't done harder dungeons or raids, but I don't think those would sway my opinion. And my opinion is, it's good, enjoyable, but really it's just more Warcraft, what do you expect? I'm not sure there's much Blizzard could do to stop it from being just more Warcraft. All in all, I'm good with it, except for one thing. Aw, there's Jaina Proudmore. Hey Jaina, how you doing, girl? Oh, is that her as a little girl? She's adorable. And is that her dad? Oh, holy sh**! What the f***, Warcraft? Still looking good though, Jaina.